Hello and welcome to today's video. This video is a 5-star prediction video, but I'm kind of going to be deciding that as we go through. So basically this is video 1. Right, this is going to be a mess. I apologise. It's all in my head. I just really wanted to do it. So this is video 1 of a 5-part series. Video 1, 5-star predictions. I'm going to go through my shelf, vibe it, like what's 5 stars? What is going to be 5 stars? Pick out 5 or 6 books is what I'm hoping for, 5 or 6. Then part 2, once I've read all those books, which could take a month, could take 6 months, I will come back and tell you, like, was I correct about my 5-star predictions? That'll be video 2. Video 3, Meg from Meg with Books has done a 5-star audit video. So video 3 will be doing that and picking out 5-star predictions based on that. Okay, video 4 is once I've read those books, coming back, was I correct? And video 5 will be 5-star predictions I make off vibes versus 5-star predictions that I make off knowledge, which is better. Boom. That's my plan. That's been in my head for a couple of days. I've decided to just sit down and film it. So welcome to video number 1, which is also a standalone video. It doesn't need to be a part of this series. It's a perfectly valid video by itself, but that is my overall plan. So video 1, 5-star predictions. This behind me, what you can see is my TBR shelf. These are all the books I want to read. There are roughly 10 books downstairs that I also own and I want to read, but they're all classics, and I don't think I could ever give a classic a prediction of being 5 stars because they're so difficult to know what you're going to get into. So I don't need to go downstairs and worry about that. We do also, like, the other side of these shelves is one of these shelves but half the size, and that's J shelves. Obviously I have access to all those books, but I haven't purchased any of them. I haven't, like, intentionally got them for myself. A lot of them are non-fiction, so there could be 5 stars because I do love a good non-fiction. But for today's video, we're just going to be doing these shelves. So we've got the ones you can see, and then up on the top, it does go up there as well. But I am keeping the camera angled down because I'm trying not to let the light from the window come in. So yes, that is the plan. Picking 5 or 6 books off of these shelves that I think is going to be 5 stars, and I'm going to bring you along with me. I'm going to bring the camera in close. I'm going to talk through the shelves as I'm going through them, and we're kind of going to see what my thoughts and feelings are and if I think any of these could be 5 stars. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's go through these shelves. Okay, so let's do this top shelf here first. So this top shelf, this is part of a series. I haven't given any of the series 5-star yet, so I don't think so. It's a series I started when I was younger. Honestly, I don't think it was 5 stars then. Probably not going to be 5 stars now. Oh, okay. So I feel like this is our first potential. This is book 1 of the Rune Lord series. But could it be 5 stars? Also, these top shelves have so much cat hair on them because the cats can really access these. Yeah, I'm not going to risk this one as a 5-star prediction. I just don't feel confident enough about it. I do feel like it could be, but it could also be a 3 or a 4. Like, I want books where I'm like, that will be 5 stars. So let's move down. Okay, so this is the next shelf. This is a part of a series that I'm moving. Oh, okay, this could be our first one. Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I really feel like I'm going to love this series. I don't know what it is about it, but I don't know. I really feel like this could be one that's 5 stars. I'm going to put this one down. I feel like this one is a really decent potential. If I'd have done this last year, I would have put this one on, but it's had so many, like, controversial reviews since then and so many people not liking it. I'm not confident enough. Like, I did love the Red Queen series, but a lot of people who love the Red Queen series are saying this isn't great. Okay, this could be another one, but I don't know if it's definitely the first book I'm meant to read. I'm really excited to get into the Shannara series, but there's so many series that make up this one world that I'm not confident. Yeah, I can't even tell. So the Sword of Shannara, book 1 of the Shannara trilogy, which is great, but that's called the Sword of Shannara and that's called the Sword of Shannara. Okay, I'm going to go away for a second and do some research. Is this actually the first book I'm meant to read? Okay, it's literally been a minute. I should have just read the back. It says the Sword of Shannara is the first volume of the classic series that has become one of the most popular fantasy tales of all time. So yeah, I think this one's gonna move on to the pile as well. Okay, then we have this shelf. These are all like Shadowhunter books, which to be honest, I'd like them to get 5 stars, but I'm not confident in. Gilded, I don't know, no. And then this is all Robin Hobb, but like I'm currently reading the first book of this series, and like I'm enjoying it. I'm not saying it's 5 stars yet, but I'm enjoying it. But I feel like it'd be a cop-out to like put like a book really late on in a series on, because like if I've got that far into the series, surely I'm enjoying it enough and it should be 5 stars. So yeah, let's move down another shelf. Okay. I've already got the first Terry Pratchett book out and I haven't started reading it yet. I feel like that'd be too risky. That'd be too risky. That would. The Raven Boys. Okay. This is one I've wanted to read for a while and a lot of people really like it. No, I'm going to put it back. I'm worried that's just going to be too YA tropey for current, like, adult Heather. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to put the first Mistborn on this book. On this list. And that means I'll have to read it. This is The Final Empire, Mistborn, Book 1. I do hate that Book 1 has the word final in it, because it does always make me feel like I need to second guess it. Yeah, I think this could be 5 stars. Okay. And then we've got a few behind here, but none of them that I think. But then this is like one of my non-fiction piles. Unfortunately, my non-fiction doesn't have a shelf of its own. They're just piled in front. But this book, The Insect Crisis, is one that I got really recently. And I think it could be 5 stars. Like for me, non-fiction is 5 stars if it sets out to do what it tells me it's going to set out to do. And this just sounds so interesting and so good. It's all about the fact that like insects are disappearing from the planet and all of the problems that come along with that. Yeah, I feel like having a non-fiction on this list would be good as well. Okay, let's keep going. I'm just going to tilt you down for this shelf, so it's probably not going to be the best camera angle, but there's none on this shelf that I want to add to this pile. The only one that like a year ago, if I'd have done this, I would have said is The Binding. But I've read another book by this author since last year. I read it start of this year, end of last year, I think. And was disappointed. So like, even though this premise still sounds very cool and I still really like the sound of it, because I've been disappointed by another book, I'm going to leave it. Okay, so I'm over to the other side of the bookcase and I'm going to work my way back up. So on this bottom shelf I've got a lot of historical fiction, which I own a lot of and don't really read. So I don't think any of those. Maybe I feel like House of Leaves has potential, but I feel like I'd only give it 5 stars if I understand it well enough to give it 5 stars. Like I feel like if it doesn't get 5 stars, it wouldn't be the book's fault, it would be my fault. I don't know, that doesn't really seem fair to put on this list, but I don't know. Like I do think I could give it 5 stars if I understand it well enough. I don't know, I'm mothering too much about it. It's obviously not going on. Okay. And none of the others either. Like I don't want to put any like horror or like that type of book on. Greek myth, no, and then there's one romance at the end, and that's probably not going to work. Okay, can you see that shelf? Not quite. There we go. Oh, not quite. There we go. Okay, next shelf up. I've never read anything, although this sounds interesting, I'm not sure if it's my vibe, and I've never read anything by the author before, so I don't want to risk it. I don't think any of these. There's a few non-fiction here as well, but none that I'm that confident about, honestly. None that I'm super confident about. Yeah, let's leave it. Let's go up a shelf. Okay, this is kind of like all sci-fi on this shelf, I think. Yeah, okay, all sci-fi. Really want to read. Don't know if it'd be 5 stars because I've read a lot similar to it. Never read anything like it. Already read when I was younger and I enjoyed it then, but I'm a lot older now. Don't know. Okay, this could be one. This could be one. Okay. I've never read anything like this as like in adult book. Like the only books I've read that have really focused around a spaceship have been young adult, except Murderbot wasn't. I really don't know. I'm gonna put it back because I'm thinking too much about it, and I want these to just be books that I'm like, I could give that 5 stars. Okay, so this is the Vibe and Weights. I don't think I said the title. And if it does end up being 5 stars, I'm going to be really annoyed that I didn't put it on this list, but I think it's too risky. Yeah, I'm actually gonna leave it out in case I change my mind. Like, it can be left out whilst I go up another shelf. Okay, so we're up to the top shelf again. This is a lot of classics and a lot of sci-fi that I don't own complete series of behind there. But I do think that Ducks, look now, Ducks, this is a graphic memoir and I do feel like this has good potential to be 5 stars. So again, apologise if this is shaky. I don't have a tall enough tripod for the top shelf. We're also joined by Geoff. You joining us? You gonna be helpful? Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at this. If I move these out the way, these have just been dumped here, but actually that might be a good shout. I feel like thriller and mysteries aren't worth putting on. It depends too much on if it's done well. Oh, The Library of Shadows. This is one that I read a chapter of and really thought I'd enjoy. Okay, that also has potential to go on. This is why there's so many cat hairs on the top shelf, because they're both literally just lean over it. Okay. And the other one I'm thinking of is The Grace of Kings. Okay, let's go sit down and think about this. Okay, so I have 8 books in front of me and I only wanted to pick out 5 or 6, so okay, so I have 8 books in front of me. Sure, I'm gonna put these in order, decide what I'm doing, and I'll come back and give you 5, 6 or 8 books to look at. Okay, I'm back and I've narrowed it down to 6 books, these 6 here, and there are 3 what I believe, I haven't looked into any of these on Goodreads or anything, but I believe there's 3 adult fantasy, 1 young adult fantasy, 1 adult sci-fi and 1 non-fiction. The 2 that I got rid of out of this pile that were close contenders were Ducks and Library of Shadows. These are so far away from what I normally read, I'm not actually confident. Like, I truly do feel like these are going to be 5-star reads when I read them, but I don't feel like they're either of them are books that I could pick up at any time and enjoy them. Like, I need to be in the right mood and the right headspace for them. So that is why they've moved to the side, because I'm just not as confident. But these are the 6 that I've picked. So I could very quickly tell you about them. These aren't in any particular order. I realised very quickly that I could not order them. So in no particular order, my first 5-star prediction is Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Right, first of all, pronunciations, they're going to be off. I haven't properly looked into any of these books yet, so I apologise at how bad my pronunciations are probably going to be. But in general, Cairo has managed to keep her 2 lives in balance. On the one hand, she's a 17-year-old art student in Prague. On the other, errand girl to a monstrous creature who is the closest thing she has to family. Raised half in our world, half in elsewhere, she has never understood Brimstone's dark work, buying teeth from hunters and murderers, nor how she came into his keeping. She is a secret even to herself, plagued by the sensation that she isn't whole. Now the doors to elsewhere are closing, and Karen must choose between the safety of her human life and the dangers of a nearly destroyed world that might hold the answers she's always sought. I think it sounds really good and really interesting, and it's just one that's really intrigued me for a long time, so I'm picking this one. Book 2 I'm going for is The Insect Crisis. When was the last time you were stung by a wasp, or were followed by a cloud of midges, also a butterfly? All these normal occurrences are becoming much rarer. A groundswell of research suggests insect numbers are in serious decline all over the world, in some places by over 90%. The Insect Crisis explores this hidden emergency, arguing that its consequences could even rival climate change. We rely on insects to pollinate the bulk of our agriculture. They are a prime food source for birds and fish, and they are a key strut holding up life on Earth, especially our own. In a compelling and entertaining investigation spanning the globe, Oliver Millman asks, how would we live if insects no longer existed? Part warning, part celebration for the wonders of the insect world, this book is an urgent wake-up call for us all. I just think that sounds so good. It's going to be like, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but I feel like I'm going to be reading it and my mind is just going to be like sucked in, like literally like yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. I think it's going to be so interesting. Like animals, including insects, are something that I've always found very fascinating and curious. Like a lot of my education was in some form of animal studies, and I don't really feel like insects were focused on much except for kind of as a food source for other animals. So yeah, I think it's going to be really, really interesting and I'm really intrigued. So yes, there's a spider and James and Geoff's going to go find it. Do you want help? I can help. Wait, it's not down there. It's here. Please be careful. Did you just drop it? Right, let's not eat it. Oh, Geoff! I was not fast enough. Normally they just capture them and then I get them out. But I'm afraid I've just added to the decline as Geoff ate the spider. The third book that I chose is Leviathan Wakes. I'm getting so into sci-fi recently, and I feel like my only like holdback of including this book is that I don't feel like I fully know what sci-fi I enjoy like I do when it comes to fantasy. Like I feel like sci-fi is still something I'm exploring and want to know more about. But having read the back of this, having like looked at the books that I've already read, I really do feel like this has like massive 5-star potential. It is a 5-star prediction. I think it'd have to be... The only way I can see this book, based on the premise, based on what I know about it and what I enjoy, the only way I can see it not being 5 stars is if the characters are particularly like bland or unlikable. So I'm just gonna have to hope that they're not. Like I can't know that before going into it, and that is just something that I'm not gonna know. So, welcome to the future. Humanity has colonised the solar system, Mars, the moon, the asteroid belt, and beyond. But the stars are still out of our reach. Jim Holden is an officer on an ice miner, making runs from the rings of Saturn to the mining stations of the belt. When he and his crew stumble upon a derelict ship, the Sculpey, they find themselves in the possession of a secret they never wanted. A secret that someone is willing to kill for, and to kill on a scale unfathomable to Jim and his crew. War is brewing in the system unless Jim can find out who left the ship and why. Detective Miller is looking for a girl, one girl in a system of billions, but her parents have money and money talks. When the trail leads him to the Sculpey, the rebel sympathiser Holden, he realises that this girl may hold the key to everything. Holden and Miller must thread the needle between Earth government and outer planet revolutionaries and secretive corporations, and the odds are against them. But out in the belt the rules are different, and one small ship can change the fate of the universe. I just think that sounds so good. It very much gives me like big group of characters working together, common goal, cool space things to explore. We'll figure it out. And then left are the 3, I'm pretty confident, adult fantasies. I could be wrong, they could not be adult, but they are all fantasies. I am confident about that part of it. So first of all, we've got the Final Empire. So what I know about this going in is what a Mistborn is and what the magic system is in this. Like I know that in this the magic system is metals and a Mistborn means all metals. So that's all I know from my time online. Let's read the back of it. The mist rules the night. The Lord Ruler owns the world. For 1,000 years the ash fell. For 1,000 years the scar slaved in misery and lived in fear. For 1,000 years the Lord Ruler reigned with absolute power and ultimate terror. Divinely invincible. Every attempted revolt has failed miserably. Yet somehow hope survives. A new kind of uprising is being planned, one that depends on the cunning of a brilliant criminal mastermind and the courage of an unlikely heroine. A Scar street urchin who must learn to master allomancy, the power of a Mistborn. What if the prophesied hero had failed to defeat the Goddark Lord? The answer will be found in the Mistborn trilogy, a saga of surprises that begins here. It sounds so good, I'm so excited for it. Definitely feel like it's going to be 5 stars. Like all of these, I'm like, what if the characters are assholes? Like that could completely ruin this. It only takes like a really unlikable character that I feel like I'm meant to relate to for me to be like mentally clocked out. So we're going to stay hopeful. We are going to stay hopeful. Then we have The Grace of Kings. This has actually already been on my TBR once this year and I just haven't got round to it. It's quite a big, bulky book. I'm now confident it's adult because I've just found the prompt card it was meant to fulfill from my TBR in there. But yeah, I know very little about this. I became aware of this when the cover redesigns were coming out because like these UK covers are just so ridiculously pretty. Like I really hope I can find the rest of the series in this cover. Technically I should be able to, but I've only seen them in hardback, not paperback, so we will wait and see. But yeah, on the back it says, again, apologies about pronunciations. We will get the audiobooks or a pronunciation guide when we're reading them properly. Emperor h.eather was the first to unite the island kingdoms of Dara under a single banner, but now the Emperor is on his deathbed. His people are exhausted by his vast conscriptive engineering projects, and his councillors conspire only for their own gain. Even the gods themselves are restless. A wily, charismatic bandit and the vengeance-sworn son of a deposed duke cross paths as they each lead their own rebellion against the Emperor's brutal regime. Together they will journey to the heart of the Empire, witnessing the clash of armies, fleets of silk-draped airships, magical books and shape-shifting gods. Their unlikely friendship will drastically change the balance of power in Dara. But at what price? Again, like, these are just worlds that I want to be absorbed in and worlds that I can just really see myself just like gripping onto and being like, yes, 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 we're going to keep going. So really, really excited. And then last but not least, we have The Sword of Shannara. This is book 1 of the Shannara trilogy. Long ago, the world of the Four Lands was torn apart by the wars of ancient evil. But in the Vale, the half-human, half-elven Shea Omsford now lives in peace, until the mysterious, foreboding figure of the druid Alanan appears to reveal that the supposedly long-dead warlock lord lives again. Shea must embark upon an elemental quest to find the only weapon powerful enough to keep the creatures and darkness at bay. The fabled Sword of Shannara. Like, this one seems more quest-based, but it still just sounds so fun. So yeah, those are the 6 5-star predictions that I have looking through my shelves and going off just vibes. I do really hope that you enjoyed the video. Please do give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.